So here we are sat under the Piercebridge layout, first time in a little while. It's all the boards in for controlling the points. Computers in here as well. It's going to be controlling the railway. There's the power supply there as well.
Right, okay, now this is the brains of Piercebridge starting to be installed, and we're looking at a number of block detection boards, and each of these boards will do 16 sections of track, and it works just like a track circuit does on the real railway, but instead of having 30 or 40 for an area, we've got 200 block sections to allow automation of trains. So what we're starting with at the moment are the first 3 boards. Now each of these LEDs which are lit at the moment tells you that there's power to the area, and the LEDs above will detect when there's a train present. So these detect your train in the area, and then that'll then feed back into the control centre, which is being built with 4 monitors to show the movement of the trains around the layout. Now on top of this we've got these coils. And each of these coils detect what they call transponding, and these detect any interference in the supply cables, and that detects the number of the train. So not only can you detect where the train is, but what number of train is in that location. So there's 13 of these boards going in, and that's just for the track feeds, and about 1.5 miles of cable to get from these boards to the actual track, which you can see, for instance, just across here. Big feeders going up, down there. There's a load and a load of cables here, and each shelf connects, so you can take every shelf off and the whole layout will break down. Now moving along, we have areas, and this is just a big connector to go into these boards, but these areas are run through a PM42, which is actually on the power shelf over here, and inside that box there is a circuit breaker system, and that allows for certain trains to derail in certain places and not to knock other trains off on the railway. So that's the power system, and working down here is our point control. Now there's about 8 or 9 of these boards around the layout, I think, roughly, and what these do is they operate the points, but they also feed back the position of the points. So these are the actual solenoids that operate the points, and these are the feedback system, and they interpret into the railway and inform the computer of the state of every set of points on the layout. So this is obviously the point control cables and everything going up and distributed round. So this is the start. There's signals to go. But this is the brains of the layout. To touch wood, we should be able to eventually reach full automisation, depending on whether I can fit any more cables under it.
The bridge is now clad as well. It's a lot better than just bare metal. Obviously no stock on the layout. A bit more complete than last time as well. Scenery's back on. Now then, Piercebridge has taken a major step forward. We are now going to start running some locos on it for the first time in over 2 years. The locos, we've got an example of Grand Central in front of us here, is fitted with Digitrax's transponding chip. So the idea now, after we put all these power supplies in, is that we'll actually be able to see the different zones on the track. So we've tested it with this loco so far. Now the live track only goes from here round to just the other side of the brewery over there, and that crosses about 3 or 4 different zones. So far so good. But yeah, it's looking pretty interesting. So the first time in a long time, we now have Class 70 power. As you can see, we've still got a problem with mucky wheels, but the loco does still work. You can see.
I don't know what was it. I missed that one. Oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing next to the phone. So I'll be able to put a goal like this. Because I'm graduating. So we've got a lot of work on. Work, I might not be able to do the job if I don't work out. Just so you know. You go on holiday, come back.
Piercebridge with a kind of sunset effect.